This is Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and Africa. We can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.ro, Channel 1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn and via satellite Eutelsat 16A on 11,512 MHz vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. Symbol rate 29,950 megasymbols per second. Standard DVB as 2. Modulation 8 PSK. Audio PID 510. We wish you good reception conditions.
Hello, I'm Cristina Mateescu with the news. First, the headlines. Germany and France have rejected a proposed blanket ban on Russian citizens entering the European Union, while Romania's foreign minister calls for the restriction of the movement of Russian citizens within the bloc, including for tourism. And Romania's Elena Gabriela Ruse reached the second round at the US Open, while world number 7 Simona Halep was eliminated in the first round. In a joint position paper, Germany and France have rejected a blanket ban on Russian citizens entering the European Union, as proposed by several member states, notes the DPA news agency. While accepting that visa applications from Russian citizens should be carefully examined for potential security risks, the paper warns against underestimating the transformative power of experiencing life in democratic systems at first hand, unquote. The French-German paper added that a blanket ban could lead to a rise in nationalist and anti-European sentiment in Russia. Romania said it will back the suspension of EU's visa facilitation agreement with Russia, which will be discussed by EU foreign ministers meeting in Prague from today. The Romanian foreign minister, Bogdan Aurescu, backs the restriction of the movement of Russian citizens within the bloc, including for tourism. The Czech Republic, which is holding the Union's rotating presidency, hopes that 27 EU member states will reach a consensus to implement this measure by October. The suspension was requested by Finland and backed by the Baltic states. The Romanian authorities have welcomed Germany's support for Romania's accession to the EU passport-free Schengen area and thanked Chancellor Olaf Scholz for his support. In his address at the EU summit in Prague, Scholz said Romania, Croatia and Bulgaria meet all technical criteria for full membership and that the Schengen area must be protected and developed, which means closing the remaining gaps. During a visit to Romania in June, the French President Emmanuel Macron also stated his support for this idea. Moldova's former pro-Russian president Igor Dodon is to remain under house arrest after his appeal against this measure was rejected by the Court of Appeal. Dodon, who is now the honorary president of the Socialist Party he founded, was detained on the 24th of May and placed under house arrest 2 days later. He is suspected of acquiring illicit wealth, passive corruption, illegal party funding and treason. Dodon's wife and mother are also under investigation, as well as his brother-in-law, who is in temporary custody. The Ukrainian army has launched a strong counter-offensive against the invading Russian troops in the occupied south, seeking to retake Kherson, a city of 280,000 inhabitants occupied by the Russian troops in the early days of the invasion. The Ukrainian military are already speaking about the withdrawal of a unit of pro-Russian separatist fighters from the region. Russia says, however, that it rejected the Ukrainian attempts to advance into Kherson and Mykolaiv, with a Russian Defense Ministry statement saying the counteroffensive failed and the Ukrainians suffered heavy losses. Some 335,800 Romanian and foreign nationals entered and left Romania on Monday, according to the border police. More than 121,000 persons crossed the border into Romania, including around 12,000 Ukrainians. 7.4% fewer than on the previous day. Since the 10th of February, 2 weeks before the Russian invasion of their country, more than 2,131,000 Ukrainians have entered Romania. 24-year-old Elena Gabriela Ruse of Romania, ranked 101 in the world, reached the second round at the US Open as she defeated world number 58 Daria Saville of Australia in 3 sets. In the next round, Ruse will face world number 12 Coco Gauff of the US. In one of the biggest upsets of the tournament so far, the former world number 1 and current world number 7 Simona Halep lost to Ukrainian qualifier Daria Snigur 6-2, 0-6, 6-4. Jacqueline Christian also lost her first-round match against world number 2 Anett Kontaveit of Estonia in a match that lasted 66 minutes and ended 6-3, 6-0. 2 other Romanian players are in action at the US Open on Tuesday. In the first round, Sorana Cârstea, who plays Germany's Laura Siegemund, and Irina Begu, who plays Belgium's Elise Mertens. And now a quick look at the weather. A yellow and orange code warning for atmospheric instability and heavy rain is in place until Wednesday morning across most of the country, while a heat warning is in place in 13 counties and the capital city today. The weather is expected to remain unstable in most regions all week. And that was the news.